It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Maria Venzant, who's in the building. And she'll be talking about six figures, transforming your business and your knowledge into a thriving business. What's going on, Maria? How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing excellent, by the way. And I couldn't wait for this topic. I mean, a thriving business. I mean, six figures. Okay, let me just slow down if I can. Here's the question. Now, I hate to come out the gate and ask, but I'm curious. Why are business owners struggling so much today to have a thriving business? And let me preface this if I can. One, what is the definition of a thriving business? That's number one, because it could mean different things to different people. So we would be curious, what is a thriving business? And number two, why do people struggle these days? I mean, they've got JACI, they've got the internet, they've got Instagram. I mean, they got everything they need. Take it away.
All right. So the two questions. One, what is a thriving business? Like you said, that's different for everybody. My success level is going to be different from somebody else's. And that also changes over time. It wasn't until I met my mentor that my success level was six figures. When I met her and changed my community, it became, I want to make it to seven figures. I want to make it to eight figures. What does success look like to me? I want to make sure that I don't work business and forget family. Right. And so I might have a thriving business, but if my house is not thriving too, it's not really a thriving business to me because I trade places. What is valued to me most is my family. But now I don't treat them that way. I treat my business better. So it really depends on the person, what a thriving business is. Then number two, why are people struggling to have a thriving business? I can really only speak for women because that's my audience. I talk to a lot of women. I myself am a woman, of course. We want to do so much. We have about 8 to 10 businesses in our mind. We want to do everything. We want to help people with everything, whether, we can do nails, we can do hair, we can file somebody's taxes. We could then open up a daycare while still doing taxes and running a transportation business. And so from my experience, me personally, and also working with other women, because we want to do so much at one time, we don't really have 5-year goal, 10-year goal, is do everything right now, that our attention span is so spread across every business that one business don't get 100%. We're giving 10 here, 50 here, then maybe 5 to our family. We're just all over the place. And so you can't have a thriving business if your focus is everywhere.
As you were talking, that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And what do you say to the person that listens and says, Shay, she's speaking to me? Okay, let her know if you can that we have a number of folks who are dualpreneurs. They work a full-time job, they're full-time entrepreneurs, or they're a leader. Some of them are a leader in their family. They're a leader in their community. Some people are a leader on their jobs. They're responsible. Some of them for their wives. Some of them, since women is yours, for their husbands, for their families. And someone will say, look, my kids have their own activities, and I'm responsible for that. I'm a caregiver. So, Shay, what does she say if we're talking about having a thriving business? What does she say to the person that's already feeling overwhelmed, and now you want me to have this thriving business at the same time? The question, how does she deal with priorities and making sure things don't, and I'm sorry to hit you, start off like that, but there are folks out there might be curious, like, how do you juggle it so you can have it all?
And that's when thriving business changes over time, because at that point, maybe you have toddlers, you have to learn time management and your priorities. And when they're toddlers, your priority might be spending a lot of time with them, and then maybe giving your business 20%, 30%. And so thriving at that time in that season of your life might be whatever you can get your business to with giving it 30%, because your priority in that season is your toddler. or maybe they're going through teenage years and they have 10 sports, and every Saturday it's a game, it's a practice, it's a recital, it's something. Then in that season, thriving for your business might be something else. So that's when thriving business changes over time. And don't overwhelm yourself. And I think a lot of people get overwhelmed when they try to compare themselves with somebody else and they see their level of success and they want to be there. They don't know at what season they're in their life with that business, because maybe just 7 years ago or 4 years ago, maybe they had toddlers and they were actually focused on family. So that's why you have to be flexible with what does thriving mean to you in your season. It changes.
It changes. I like that. So take a moment and define knowledge to six figures. And many of you have read your bio. Don't worry. We're going to get into her backstory in a moment. I know some of you have not. You're like, Shay, who's this person talking? Okay. Some of you have already Googled her, you researched her. So we'll get into her backstory in a moment. But we're talking about from knowledge to six figures. Transform your expertise into a thriving business. What does knowledge to six figures even mean, so we can all be on the same page?
So to me, the knowledge that I'm referring to is your journey, your experience. What have life taught you? What did you struggle with? A lot of times I find what you struggle with and what you overcome is for you to then go teach somebody else. And so what I struggled with and I overcame was the juggle of being a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur. And while I'm not 100% mastered at that, it's still something that is being developed. I know a little bit more than maybe somebody that's coming in the beginning. How do I manage it all? How do I juggle it all? When I opened up my first business and I grew that business to multiple six figures, now I have other people coming to me. How did you do that? I want to start the business. There's nobody teaching it. I want to grow it to six figures. That became a class that I created. Well, let me help you from where I've been, take you on the journey. And now actually you can get to that six figures faster than I did because I didn't have somebody coach me. Now I'm coaching you based on my journey, my level of expertise, and going to get you to your goals faster. For example, I didn't know when I first started that business that I needed an LLC. I had an EIN number and that was it. And I thought that's all I needed until it was time to cash the business check in the business name. I learned that very quickly. And so, again, your journey and what you learn along the way, you can then go back and help other people.
What do you say to the person like, that's great. I love it, Shay. I want to hear more. And don't worry, in a moment, she's going to give you 2 or 3 things you can do. Then I'd be like, but do I have to have an advanced degree? Do I have to be certified? I mean, it's just me and my story and things I've done. If that's going through their mind right now, and I think it's a reasonable question at a reasonable time, what would you say to that person? Is now they're tuned in, they're leaning forward like, whoa, maybe this is for me.
I would first say it depends on what it is, right? So like if you're going to be providing counseling services, you might want to get licensed, some type of certificate, because you might want to coach somebody through, like, develop life skills. So maybe a certification or going back to school for counseling. Something like that, absolutely, you would want to have some type of training. When it comes to maybe you want to teach them, maybe you have a brick and mortar and you want to teach somebody how to create a brick and mortar, you have your results. And then what I teach women is get your results and then go help somebody else and gather testimonials to now you can help use those testimonials to help you sell. Because now not only did I build my business to multiple six figures, I help XYZ, these many women build their business to six figures. Now I can help you. And so I didn't need a degree for that. I didn't need a certificate to be able to show you what I did so that you can also become successful in it. So it really depends on what it is that you're going to be doing.
I love it, by the way. This is good. They're getting to know more about you. Now they're like, who is this person? What's her backstory, Shay? What's her backstory? And what was that defining moment that she knew, I'm all in for helping someone else build their business? So you know where I'm going. What's the backstory? Who are you? What do you represent these days?
Well, the backstory. So it all started. I became an entrepreneur actually at 19. My grandmother had an at-home child care center, and I helped her. And I was like, "Well, this is cool. I want to have my own business." And I didn't know at 19 what exactly it was that I wanted to do. So I did a lot of MLMs, multi-level marketing. So I did Avon. I was a 19-year-old Avon lady. I did Melaleuca, I did Mary Kay, I did Beachbody, I did credit repair. It was just me on this journey trying to figure out where do I fit in as an entrepreneur? What is my goal? What is my passion? What do I love to do? And overall, I knew that I love to help women and that I'm a teacher. And so over time, when I opened up my first brick and mortar and then helping other women open that, it was an aha moment. Okay, this is it. Now I'm helping women, moms, wives start their business and grow it. The change that I just actually did in business is now is focusing on digital courses. How can you create something that gets passive income so that you can be on the beach while you're still making money on vacation with your family? And so it was just the journey of entrepreneurship and learning so many things along the way. Now I teach people how to get to my results faster than what it took me.
Ah, I love what you're doing. That's so exciting, by the way. And what do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days?
I enjoy spending time with my family most. I love having my business. I love helping women, but I enjoy our family time. I'm able to go to school plays or concerts during the day. We go on the weekend. We go to the park, play tennis, and not have to worry about making money. Not have to worry about I should be at my computer doing this because I have systems set up for me to be able to make money while I'm enjoying my family. I love
Now
that.
they're waiting for the magical moment they've been waiting for this whole time, which are what are one, two, three, maybe you have 5 steps, things that someone can do to turn their knowledge into a thriving business. And ladies and gentlemen, it's almost unfair to ask her to kind of unpackage this, obviously, in a couple of minutes, but she's up to the task and she's going to do the
I,
best she can. And we're going to talk about how you connect with her over and beyond today. Don't worry about that. But if you had to give, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 steps that someone can do, it's like, you got my attention, be paid
uh-huh.
more for what I know than I can do. Sounds
Yeah.
like me. Um,
hmm
what should they do? What are maybe 3, 5 steps that they can do?
Well, the first thing is realizing what you know how to do. And a lot of times that comes with what do people come to you and ask you for your help? What do people see value in that you offer? So some people, it could be, let's say they got a divorce and they co-parent well. And then so they have their friends and say, how do you co-parent? How did you guys build that relationship? How did you? So when you get the how did you questions, that's probably something that is you have that knowledge, you might have the passion. That's something that you can take and then go teach it. So this is what I did. These are the steps that I did to do this. If you fixed your own credit, people did DIY credit, you might have something because other people want to learn how to do their credit. And so maybe you can go and teach them how you fix your credit. So the first step is to find out what exactly it is that you're good at that your audience actually wants. So like you don't want to be maybe a good person, you know how to tie your shoe well, and you say, I'm going to teach a master class on this. Well, nobody wants to learn that. And so you have to find the balance of what are you good at and people actually want, right? That you gotta find a balance in that. So that's step one. I would say step two is once you know that, start talking to your audience. What are they struggling with? So now specifically, if it's learning how to co-parent and these are your struggles, now let me specifically help you with these by building some type of course or building some type of book to be able to help you solve that problem. So find out what you're good at and then go solve the problem. And then step three would be to set up systems, getting a team, running funnels, but that's all the technical stuff. And I always say get a coach or a mentor, me, to help you with those things. But yeah, the really big ones is just figuring out what you want to do and then how are you going to help your audience?
I love it. They listen to you saying, man, shit, her life has been perfect. Life is pretty good for her. She gets into this business. She does the Avon. I mean, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We have a segment here called Today is My January 1st. And we're going to find out some things. And today is my January 1st. I know some of you wait for every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can't wait to say those magical words. Today is by January 1st. I know that sounds cool. And for all the new folks who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We welcome you with open arms. We're glad you're here. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy or how bright and sunny is, our past no longer equals our future. And so my question to the one and only Maria on the other side is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? What do you hear? And number two, what was a setback you had, if any, a challenge you had, and how did you bounce back from it?
Those are good questions. And so you hear me talk about family a lot is because I went through on this journey of building this successful business in place of my family. And so if today was my January 1st and I get a do-over, as my kids growing up, I would definitely put more focus on my family and not have them feel like the business was first and they were second. And so I would make sure that I valued the time. I would have more family time. I would incorporate them into the business where I could, but not make them feel a certain way about the success that was happening as if that was more important than their lives. And so that would be my do-over. I have two older girls and two younger girls, or two younger kids, and I would do it right from what I've learned.
Yeah, I haven't found anyone yet that doesn't want to go back and spend more time with those they love the most. And
Yes.
I have two adult kids. They grow really fast, and you look back and say, "Wow, what did I miss?"
Yeah, two of them are at the house and two of them still here. Yep.
Well, you're blessed. They're still there. They're still there. That's good news. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days?
I love setting up the systems to help women. A lot of women, as they're building their business, they feel like they're missing something. They feel like I feel like I have all these pieces, but they're not really flowing. Like, how do I? And they look at all these gurus and they look at all these successful people. What am I missing? And I like helping them find that missing piece, helping them find the systems and the opportunities for passive income to help them grow their business without taking more of their time. I absolutely love that piece.
You know, one of my favorite questions to ask is, you've had a lot of mentors along this journey of success. Some you may have met, some you never met. Some books you read, maybe videos you've had, some maybe you hired, some maybe you didn't. But if you had to share, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? And there's been a lot. I get that. But you had to pick one. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, and why?
The best piece of advice is actually the one that I hated. I did not want to hear this advice at all. It was pick one thing. And my pastor years ago gave me a book called The One Thing. And I didn't even want to read the book because it was so much that I wanted to do. And then mentors along the way, you have to pick one thing. And it's not to say forever is one thing. It's build one thing to the success that it can be, and then add the other things. And so that would be the biggest piece of advice. Pick one thing, focus on one thing in your season, grow that, and then add in the other additional things that you really want to do.
One of my favorite books of all time, The One
Yes.
Thing. What is one thing you can do? If you do, it would move your life and or business forward. We all certainly can learn from that. So thanks for sharing, by the way. And what do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world and making a difference and hanging out and helping women build their business and thrive more? What do you do for fun?
I love to read, which, that people like, that's not fun. I love to read. I'm always, whether it's a spiritual book, whether it's a self-development book. It's been a while since I read fiction, but I really love to we have a lake near us. I go to the lake, sit down with a book, and that is my peace. That is my joy. That is just, it feels fun to me. I like to go out with my family. We go skating, we go bowling, we go do things like that. Like I said, we try to spend a lot of quality family time.
And you can't leave us hanging with books. I mean, you said the one thing. You can't say you like reading books and not tell us another book. Everybody's sitting on the edge right now. Like, well, okay, Shay, we heard the one thing. What's another book that's one of her favorite books that she's read that she would want to pass on to us, and why? And you can't say you can't say the Bible. That's in a category all by itself. And
It
so,
is.
what's one of the books that you've read, maybe recently or you read in the past? She's like, hey guys, y'all need to check this out. What would it be?
Recently, I read Fervent Prayers by Priscilla Shear. I think that's how you say
Mm-hmm.
her name. I read that book, and I've read that book multiple times. I love that book. And I have a shelf full of just, I'm going along growing my spiritual walk. A lot of those books have been life changing for me.
That is so cool. Thanks for sharing that and being a part of that. We certainly appreciate it. And if someone's listening right now, say, "Hey, Shay, I like what I'm hearing, and I need someone like her in my life." And I want to talk to her, which we're going to get to how they can connect with you. But just in general, if someone's thinking about working with someone to help them on their journey in their business, what are maybe 2 or 3 things they should look for? Because they might say, "Well, Shay, everybody wants me to hire them. I'm getting emails every day. I'm getting inbox messages. I'm getting DMs." So, looking back at the type of person she is, what are maybe 1, 2, or 3 things that I should look for, or ask for when I'm interviewing to bring on a coach or a mentor like her to be on my team to help me on this journey? What would you say to that person?
I think it's very important nowadays with social media the way it is that anybody can sell, let's say, an ebook of how to do something, but they've never done what it is they're actually teaching you to do. And so they're making money teaching you how to do something they've never actually done, but they're making the money from you. So I think it's important to vet the experience of the person, look for testimonials, like who have they helped, what was the results of the people that they helped, as well as what are their results specifically, and did they do what they're telling you can do. You can't help me get to 7 figures if you haven't necessarily got to 7 figures. So have you gotten to 7 figures while you're trying to teach me that? So I think it's important to really look and see, are the coaches doing what they're teaching, and are they actually getting results and helping whoever their audience is, I was going to say women, get the same results that they did. I think that's key.
Spot on, by the way. Well, first, let me say, as we come down the home stretch, a 2-part question. Number one, how are you taking on any clients these days as your firm? And if so, what type of clients are you looking to work with? And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond the time that you and I have right now?
Well, first question, I do not take personal clients right now for the simple fact that my time goes to my family. And so I created my business to be in classroom type settings. So I have a lot of different courses. And so people can join my courses to learn how to do XYZ, whether it's creating a funnel, whether it's how to create a digital course, how to create an ebook. I have classes that you can, buy and then enter. Some of them do involve mentorship, but it's in a group setting. And you can connect with me, whether it's Instagram, Facebook at Mrs. Maria Venzant. And then I actually have, I go live a lot. I have a Facebook group called Boss Lady University, and I go live in that group and I answer questions and I talk to the ladies in the community, and we do workshops in there. And so it's very active on Facebook.
Well, let me say thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Shout out to Dr. O for connecting us together. I certainly appreciate it.
Yes.
And thank you to entrepreneurs. Thank you for tuning in. Without you watching, we don't have a show. So we appreciate every time you show up. We appreciate it. Not the likes, although those are cool, but when you share it, when you hit that share button, if you haven't done that, do that. Pay this message forward to someone else so you can help them in their life. You can help them in their business, and they can make a much bigger difference in their community. And I never get tired of sharing. Every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that as you're watching right now, that you are just a super incredible, spectacular, awesome individual. And you are unique. And your individual is doing some really cool things in the world for good people. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe today is your January 1st, and your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things out. We connect again next time. God bless and thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Maria. We appreciate everyone. We out. Peace.